Silly. You guys ready for your next comedian? Woo! Guys ready for your next comedian? Fantastic. I have a girlfriend, but if there was a guy that I would hopefully, maybe kiss in the rain sometime, it'd probably be this guy. I'm not gonna lie. It's the mustache. The mustache just really gets me. That chest hair, my God. All right, I'm done sexualizing your next comedian. It's JJ Long, everyone.
Give it up for Jack and Karen, you guys. It's already a hot start to a fantastic evening. You guys ready to get sad? All right, fuck yeah. All right, cool. I only say that because I grew up in Gallup, New Mexico. And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Gallup, but it's like if you took all of the homeless people in Albuquerque and you put them into a dirty heroin needle, and then you turned that into a city. That's what Gallup, New Mexico is like, you guys. I'm so convinced that it's one of the only places that you can catch depression like it's a fucking venereal disease. It doesn't make sense with what's out there. I once tried to explain to my friends what living in my hometown was like, and every single one of them was like, it's not that bad. There's no way it can be as bad as Mexico. I grew up in Mexico. And so I was like, all right, fine then. So I took them on a tour, and I took them to the Gallup Flea Market, which if you don't know what a flea market is, it's where you buy meat that's been out for 6 hours. And it's the botulism that's kept us strong as a community. But we got done with that, and as we're walking back to the truck, my friends, they almost all in unison are just like, wow, that was fucking depressing. And I was like, I fucking told you. But we're getting back. Two of my friends go to play off on a train, it's fucking Stand By Me or some shit. and I'm sitting there, I'm smoking cigarettes with one of my other friends, and he hears crows in the distance. He doesn't see them because he's blind. But he hears crows in the distance, and he's just like, crows. Must be a sign. He's like, listen, man, just because I'm Native American doesn't make every fucking animal a sign, all right? And that's the only reason why I mentioned that he's blind. So fuck that guy. But no, I continue the rest of the tour. Which is not much of a tour. To be completely honest, it's mostly, I bought drugs there. I bought drugs there. That's where I used to play Little League, right after I bought my drugs. And we're driving, and my friends are, once again, almost all in unison, just please shut the fuck up, or we're all gonna kill ourselves right now. I'm just gripping the steering wheel, just maybe those crows were a sign. but I don't know what really was the true issue with living in Gallup and how it's affected me as a person. There's a part of me that's just it's hard to talk about depression in where the area that I grew up in. I tell my family that I'm depressed. I'll get an uncle that'll take me off to a side room and be like, listen here, nephew. I'm gonna do the voice because most people imagine it. Listen here, nephew. You're gonna take this sage. You're gonna sage all 4 walls of your room. Next. You don't have to imagine it that hard, okay? I'm already doing the voice. Next, you're gonna take this corn pollen and spread it across all 4 corners of your room. And this last part is the most important part. You're gonna need to drink these 4 locos. And the only thing I took away from that was the 4 locos. Like, so much so that eventually I had to like go to jail for a DUI. And it's not saying much considering we're in New Mexico and that's kind of like a badge of honor. But I had to go to jail for a DUI, and I know you guys don't know this about me, but like going to jail, I'm what's like known as a little bitch. So I spent the first like 4 days in like a holding cell, just like trying to keep my shit together, like just keep myself from. I'm like crying. I'm like trying to keep the crying from coming out and talking to myself, just like, you're tough, dude. You fucking got this. It's fine. No one's gonna fuck with you. You're a big guy. It's fine. And then the rest of the people in the holding cell are taking bets on how long I'll last. Like, I was in there for so long that I started to lose my mind. I was like, when are they gonna fucking take me, dude? When are they gonna fucking take me? The one where I'm just like, listen, man, just fucking take me, alright, man? Fucking get me out of here, dude. I'll fuck you up, dude. I'll fuck you. I didn't say that because I'm a little bitch. But I thought it, and it was in my heart, and that's what's important. But they took me, they took me to the block, and I'm sure that the person in line behind me just knew they were gonna fuck with me. Because right before we walked through the door, they're just like, you know there's this felony block, right? And we almost heard a comical oop fucking like escape from my body. But I get in there, I'm still doing okay, and I get my bunk set up on the top, right? But the second that I finally get set up on the bunk, I immediately start to cry. And I'm not talking like just like a light sob. I'm talking like you got broken up at a Baskin Robbins after your dad died. Like, gotta cry. Like I could not contain it anymore. And then I start to cry harder because I'm crying in jail. So I'm crying even harder, just losing my goddamn shit. But there's this mountain of a man who comes up to me, and he hands me a sticky bun. He hands me a sticky bun, and he's like, "Listen, man, everything's gonna be all right. Are you Native American?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's just like, "Okay, you sit over there, we sit over here." And I'm just like, "Thanks, man. I thought I had to be hard while I was in here." And like, very like sweet dude, he's very comforting. He's just like, "No, dude, it's fine. It's okay. You can be soft when we fuck you." And that's just what growing up in Gallup leads to. That is the life you were signed up for when you grow up in Gallup. Like the other like part of all that is like I'm not sure like if I had such a hard time living there because I like didn't have a connection with like a spiritual like being or like a spiritual like practice, right? Like my mom was Christian, but I was like, that sounds like lies. And like my grandpa was a medicine man, but she was like, he's the devil. And I was like, he gives me candy. I get popcorn balls from him, dude. How is the devil gonna give you sweets? But like I feel like that's such a huge part of it, and I feel like it's just. Like, a lot of people are like, I found Jesus on the jailhouse floor. But I found Jesus pushing Tibetan Buddhism in jail. It was such like a shock to just, like, being in jail is probably one of the best experiences that I've ever had in my life. I'm not saying to drink and drive, but it might lead to some good times. I never expected that a guy named Jesus would be giving me the Tibetan Book of the Dead, which feels like a sign from God, right? But like as I'm going through it, and I'm trying to be analytical of it, and like try to like take it seriously, but also with a grain of salt. And if you do that with everything, eventually everything sounds like bullshit. Eventually, everybody sounds like an asshole if you're just breaking shit down all the time. Because if you break Tibetan Buddhism down enough, like, yes, it's about living your best life, like being reborn in a positive karma state, like trying to find Buddhism. But if you're like a shitty person, you don't get to level up. You don't get like this next thing. And that's what I think about when I see someone in a wheelchair. And I listen, I know that I'm not the best person. But what I can tell you is that me and Donovan still talk. And he gets out in September. Thank you very much. I'm Jay Long. Give it up for all your comics tonight. Jay.